Today, we have Trina Evans, Chief of Staff and Director of Corporate Center at KeyBank, headquartered right here in Cleveland, and which happens to be celebrating its 200th birthday this year. Trina is an industry-leading financial services executive with 30 plus years of experience and is best known for her ability to drive business outcomes, influence culture, and successfully implement community-wide change. Trina leads teams responsible for client and colleague experience, corporate responsibility, enterprise communications and reputation management, marketing, government relations, and philanthropy, as well as inclusion and belonging. She has earned a reputation as one of the industry's most civic-minded leaders, leading Key to invest more than $54 billion in support of affordable housing and community development projects nationwide, home and small business lending in low and moderate income communities, and transformative philanthropy since 2017. Under her leadership, Key has built an inclusive, award-winning culture that is guided by the company's core values: teamwork, respect, accountability, integrity, and leadership. Trina has also been honored many times for her own civic footprint. We are thrilled to have her with us today, and let's kick things off with the video.
We are only as strong and successful as the communities where we live and work. And our clients are embedded in our communities, as are we.
Key is community. That's not a tagline, that's a real thing.
We serve the communities.
That's where we live, that's where we work.
KeyBank's commitment to the communities we serve is not just a contemporary tradition, it is a long-standing legacy.
We have been a part of the families in this community and across our markets for generations.
Those are where our clients work and live. Those are where our employees work and live.
Financial empowerment to me is peace of mind.
It's about dreaming a little dream, feeling like you have the tools and the capabilities and the knowledge.
And that means working with our local schools, working with our local churches. The needs are vast. And for us, we're there to create those opportunities, to have a second look, to be that backbone of advice and counsel.
We provided over $1.2 billion in equity and nearly $7 billion in affordable multifamily lending to preserve over 21,000 units of affordable housing.
Many of those developments also provide supportive services, whether that is healthcare, education, job readiness, and workforce development.
It is the dreams of our neighbors, the aspirations of our neighborhoods that drive us forward.
It really transforms lives and creates hope for the future. Affordable housing breaks intergenerational poverty.
There are a lot of people in our community that are making tough choices every single day because that's their only option. We can empower people with knowledge, with tools, with resources, with someone to meet you where you are and not to judge you based on your circumstances.
It's amazing. It's probably the best part of my job is having the opportunity to see the impact on people's lives and how happy they are and the hope they have for the future.
Well, thank you, Rachel. If I had any sense after that introduction, I would say nothing and just go straight into Q&A. It is wonderful to be here. I'm so proud to be representing the entire team at KeyBank to talk about our bicentennial 200 years of service, and as I like to say, and counting, including an impact on here in Cleveland, which is, as you all know, our hometown. In addition to being chief of staff for the company, as Rachel said, I serve in many roles and lead wonderful teams who bring all of Key to our clients, our colleagues, and every community we serve. And certainly proud to do that with 30 years in here at a company I love in a place I've called home my whole life. Outside of work, I enjoy spending time with my wonderful husband of 35 years, my daughter, Grace, who is 21, going on 80. We call her Nana. I love everything Cleveland has to offer. It's a sports town. It is a world-class culture town. I think, Cleveland offers us everything, as I like to say, from half times to intermissions. And in my spare time, when I have it between work and my family, I also love to travel, and I love to garden. As Rachel said, today, this entire year really has been so special. And I want to thank the Cleveland Leadership Center for this opportunity today to highlight KeyBank's bicentennial year and our community impact. Community is central to who we are and how we do business. And I want to highlight that today. We've called Cleveland home for decades, landing here after a series of acquisitions throughout our history. And since 2017, we've invested more than $2 billion right here in Cleveland, supporting affordable housing, mortgages, small business lending in low to moderate income communities. Just last year, we received our 11th consecutive outstanding rating from the Office of the Comptroller of the Currency, our prudential regulator, for meeting the terms of the Community Reinvestment Act, and more importantly, exceeding them. And this idea of being a responsible bank and a responsible corporate citizen is really central to our story. And before I open it up for a discussion, I just wanted to cover, if you'll let me, a little bit about Key's history, what we're celebrating, sort of how we've celebrated it. We have not missed an opportunity, starting with January 1st of 2025, even though our birthday is technically in April. We have celebrated every day all year long. And as we turn the page into next year, I wanted to talk a little bit about how we're looking to the next 200 years. So I would kick it off with a sense of history. What you're looking at here is a snippet of some of the milestones from our KeyBank Heritage Center, a museum we created right here in Cleveland in our historic, built in 1890, public square branch that anyone can come visit. We also have a digital heritage center you're welcome to look at. But just some fun facts to sort of give yourself context for KeyBank's history. If you trace back a time before electricity lit the night, before automobiles ruled the roadways, before telephones carried our voices across the continent, our history, KeyBank's history, is our country's history. And we're incredibly proud to be one of the very few companies who have reached a milestone of 200 years, being both values-based and purpose-driven as a company. So we are celebrating our bicentennial. We started planning it several years ago. My team, who is on the call today, will be smiling wryly at that, because 3 years ago, I said, we've got to make 2025 our biggest year. I don't want anyone inside or outside the company to not know it is our birthday. So in the simplest of words, we're celebrating 200 years of living our purpose to help our clients, our colleagues, and our communities thrive. And it was incredibly important to me and to our entire team and our CEO, Chris Gorman, that we find creative, fun, and meaningful ways to celebrate all year long, ensuring that we're engaging with every stakeholder we serve as a company. We worked on everything you would expect: branding and employee gifts and billboards I hope you can't miss in Cleveland. We've unveiled some really fun projects and events along the way. I just want to highlight a few of those now. First, as I mentioned, the KeyBank Heritage Center. This was the pinnacle of bicentennial projects, a real museum in years in the making, located right in the heart of downtown in our Key Tower branch. Here's a short video from our public opening in April.
Thank you for joining us this afternoon to unveil our new KeyBank Heritage Center. When Key was founded as the commercial bank of Albany in 1825, our entire country had a population of only 11 million. 5 of our 6 founding presidents were still alive, with the notable exception of a guy named George Washington. The Heritage Center chronicles our storied history, how we are positioned to serve our clients and our communities for the next 200 years.
It's a great day for Ohio. We're very proud of KeyBank.
Congratulations on 200 years and cheers to another 200 years of serving our great city, our great hometown of Cleveland, Ohio.
I'm so proud of the team who invested their time and their talents to turn what was an old, dusty, unused office space into a state-of-the-art, beautiful, inviting museum for the public to be curated and cultivated and kept evergreen for years to come. We'll continue to update the space, keeping it fresh. We've already welcomed nearly 2,000 guests, not employees, external guests through guided tours. And I invite each of you to visit the next time you're downtown. It's open during branch hours, and we'd love to welcome you and always love to talk about KeyBank. We also announced a special program this year, a grant program, which awarded 27 gifts to community development financial institutions across our footprint. Those gifts were $200,000 each in the spirit of our bicentennial, making a $5.4 million impact, including a CDFI right here in Cleveland. As I mentioned, it was really important to the entire Key team that our celebrations weren't just for our colleagues or weren't just for our clients, but that our community partners felt them too, and that this bicentennial lifted them up in the way our everyday efforts do. And CDFIs are absolutely critical to our communities and as partners to Key. And there's no better way to celebrate than to really lift and empower the missions that they're delivering on the grounds, in our cities where we serve our clients. And you'll see a few photos on the screen from some of the check presentations. We had so much fun delivering those checks across the country in markets from Maine to Alaska. And it has been one of the most inspiring and empowering and really special pieces of our year-long celebration. And then we also had extra fun, when you're a banker, the New York Stock Exchange is, sort of one of the centers of your world. This was a very fun extra. The Key team had a chance to fill the entire floor of the New York Stock Exchange, and they had painted that place red. Every digital screen was KeyBank. Every digital screen celebrated our 200 years. And we got to ring the closing bell in April, corresponding with our birthday. And we were listed on the stock exchange in 1983, but they celebrated our founding in 1825. Throughout the bicentennial, we have talked at length about the idea of honoring and celebrating the generations of Key teammates who came before us, each one laying the foundation for the KeyBank we know today. And it was a great day for the team to reflect on the 200-year legacy that came before us and really turn our attention to the next 200 years. And that's a great segue to what is my last slide before we open it up for questions. And that is, what's next for Key as we close out our bicentennial year? As I say, 200 years and counting. What is the end counting? So I would say that first and foremost for us, it is staying true to our purpose to help our clients, our colleagues, and our communities thrive. That North Star, if you will guide our steps as we look to the next 200 years. I often say that every opportunity comes with an obligation. And as one of the leading financial institutions in the country, as a true community bank, as your hometown bank, the only hometown bank, we have many obligations to our clients. We want to help them achieve their dreams, whether they're buying a home or scaling a business or saving for retirement. We want to meet them in every moment that matters. And for our communities, our presence across the country gives us proximity to their needs, and thus an opportunity and an obligation to make a difference. And we do so through investment and lending, through grants and volunteerism. You might not know it, but KeyBank employees, 17,000 of them from Maine to Alaska, volunteer more than 100,000 hours a year in the communities we serve. And I think the next part of our commitment that can't go unsaid across the next 200 years is we're truly committed to building enduring and fulfilling careers for our teammates. We believe they're our greatest strength. We believe they are at the heart of our commitment to our clients and our communities. If not for them, there is no KeyBank. And we are so proud to be headquartered here in our hometown of Cleveland, Ohio, and to be a large employer in the region as well. You might not know, we retain more than 97% of our top talent as a company, and we want to continue to build a company, and maybe more importantly, a culture where our teammates feel that they belong and where our teammates can thrive. And then finally, I would say we're focusing on innovation and growing from coast to coast. We're positioned to serve, and we're positioned to grow as a company. We're embracing every challenge and opportunity, as we have for 200 years, to position the company for success. It's been a very challenging few years across the board. When you throw in a pandemic, the Paycheck Protection Program, a couple of bank failures in 2023. But all of that said, we have never been better positioned than we are today for growth and for the future. As I like to say, our future is bright. We're excited and expectant, both things, for what's to come, and really thrilled, pleased, and proud to do it here in Cleveland and side by side with you, our community partners. With that, I would say thank you for your time today and for the chance to tell Key's story. And I'd be happy to answer any questions that you might have of me.
Trina, thank you so much. Let's jump in around Key's community impact and community engagement. What goals does Key have for its impact in the community, and what drives some of the priorities?
So our priorities are all about access and opportunity for everyone. And that sort of broad mandate, paired with our purpose, helping clients, colleagues, and communities thrive, creates a strategy that spans businesses like affordable housing. You may not know, but we are the #2 affordable housing lender in the country. We punch way above our weight as a regional bank. I like to call us a community bank. We are also focused on home lending and small business lending in low to moderate income communities, and transformative philanthropy. And that philanthropy is focused on workforce development, it's focused on education, and safe and vital neighborhoods. And within that sort of spectrum of strategies, there is a real focus on making an impact and a real intentionality across all of our markets. Cleveland is our hometown, and we are put our best foot forward here every day. But I would want you to know we do so from Portland, Maine, to Portland, Oregon. I mean, we are doing that across the country, to the North Pole in Alaska. Yes, we have a branch in the North Pole of Alaska, and I'm not kidding. And so I would say to you that it is a very intentional strategy, and it is about an impact that is anchored in what our communities tell us they need most. We just finished several community listening sessions where we went market by market. We heard from more than 200 agencies across our footprint who told us what their communities need most. And that listening strategy is all about creating a virtuous cycle. Tell us what you need, let us match it to what we can do best, and let us make an impact together. And those have been a powerful tool we've used for years to sharpen our focus and to deepen our impact.
And the amount of hours that your employees have dedicated across your footprint is so impressive. How does Key encourage and support your team members to be involved in the community and give back?
We have an annual, it's a great question. There is a simple answer that will sound trite, but I'm going to say it, and then I'm going to talk about some of the mechanisms we've put in place. So it is the spirit of this company to serve. And when you join Key, it's part of our culture. And so people who are predisposed to serve in that way and love this idea of our community needs our gifts as much as our company, we tend to have a preponderance of those people at the company. So we're naturally geared as a culture to serve. We also have a national day of service, Neighbors Make the Difference Day. We've had Neighbors Make the Difference Day for over 30 years in our company. And so that is where more than half of our population of employees spends a day volunteering on various projects across our footprint. That day of service is nationwide for us. And then we also have employees who are very, very focused, serving on boards, serving through employee resource groups. Like I'm the executive sponsor of our Pride employee resource groups. And we use those employee resource groups to get out in the community and do service. We also have program we've launched this year, Money, Me, and Key, where we're doing financial literacy, financial wellness programming for agency partners, as well as in schools. And we have more than 1,600 money mentors who have volunteered at Key to get out in the community and lift up the community through this programming. So all to say, we've got various programs that employees enthusiastically sign up for. We have our national day of service, and then we have this culture where there isn't a person I know at Key who isn't involved in, whether they're on a board, whether they're serving in a junior board, whether they're doing volunteerism, who doesn't bring sort of their whole self to the company and what matters to them. I mean, we're always out, doing things, things that fit that sort of arc of strategy I talked about, that fit that sort of cookie cutter. It's a big cookie cutter, but a cookie cutter. But we're also doing things. I just was reviewing this morning a Rails to Trails event that we're participating in, stuff with the metro parks. We're always looking for ways to be a part of our communities. And so our employees bring us those ideas, and the volunteerism grows.
And a few times you've mentioned Key's values. How do you see those values in the culture and in your day-to-day at Key?
Those values are not just central to who we are, they're central to how we do business. And so I see them showing up in everyday work, whether it's a staff meeting with the senior team. We meet every Tuesday morning, the senior team and our CEO. Those values are not just, hold on, there's the boss now. That's me, sorry. Decline. We just declined the CEO, everybody. So he'll be showing up. So they are so ubiquitous that it is, I could boil it down to a feeling you get. So I always describe it as feeling welcomed, well served, and watched out for. So if you think about teamwork, respect, accountability, integrity, and leadership, it is a feeling that wraps around you, that tells you that those values are held by everyone you work with. It is a collegial, collaborative, and yet dynamic environment. And those values are so prevalent that they feel like sort of a warm hug each day.
And you have been with Key for 30 plus years.
Mm-hmm.
What leadership lessons have you learned along the way?
Oh my Lord. I would say there are a couple that I would call out. I would say be a collaborator, not a competitor. Define yourself as part of a team, not a team of one, but a team of many. I define my team as, I am one of 17,000 serving 3 million. And that, broadening that sense of accountability and ownership. I would say as well, knowing when you've won. We spend a lot of time as leaders, especially when we're growing our careers, looking at the person on the hamster wheel next to us and comparing careers and paychecks and roles, and you're longing for someone else's hamster wheel. And my grandmother always said, you have to know when you've won. You have to define your yardstick for success. What does your yardstick look like? Is it about family and career? Is it a particular job? Is it money? Is it service? What is it? What mix of those things is your yardstick? If you don't have a yardstick that's just yours, you won't know when you've won, and you'll be caught in some kind of rat race, the hamster on the wheel, trying to get to somewhere that you're not happy when you get there. And so this idea of knowing when you've won, I talk about it a lot. It also creates a balance and a measure to life that lets you know you've made conscious choices and you're living with those conscious choices about how you want to spend your time, what's important to you, and how you know that you've won. So those would be the two that I would call out.
So Trina, let's turn our focus forward as we look to what's coming. What emerging trends in fintech, regulation, consumer behavior, et cetera, do you believe will have the greatest impact on KeyBank's business model?
Yes to all of those. And so if Beth Mooney, who was our CEO before Chris Gorman, she used to say, if you don't like change, you're going to hate extinction. And so I think that all of those things, changing regulation and the changing regulatory construct, the economic backdrop, whether rates are going up or down, digital currency like stablecoin and how deposits are regulated and not. AI will change everything, making us more effective and more efficient. And fintechs are a very real competitor for banks and not regulated in the same way as banks. And it can't be a sort of boo-hoo thing. You've got to, really square your shoulders, raise your chin, and face every one of those challenges as an opportunity. And so the truth is, all of those things are coming at us. But, if we were talking 10 years ago, there would be another set of things coming at us, right? And for 200 years, we have responded to the altar call, if you will. We have squared our shoulders, raised our chin as a team, and faced the future head on. And that's why I believe the future is bright. I have a strong conviction about our very values forward and purpose-driven leadership and team. We have a business model that is unique. We are a commercial and consumer bank who can bank what the big guys can't. Or what the little guys can't and what the big guys won't. And we have a relationship model. This spirit we have that I talked about earlier for community is the same spirit we approach clients with. We want to be there in the moments that matter. And so I believe when you have that strong foundation built to weather any storm, you can do anything. And there is a lot of change headed our way, and we are preparing for every one of those things I talked about.
Trina, we have time for one more question. For those who are looking to expand the impact of their own organizations back into their home communities, what advice do you have to help them do that well?
First and foremost, to get involved in your community, the community where you live, the community where you work, and then to bring that opportunity to the right place in your company. Is your company sort of philanthropically driven? Is your company selling a product that your community can use? How can you bring your company to that community? And I think that match has to be made. And, not for KeyBank, for as much as we do and for as committed as we are, there are needs we aren't geared to meet. And so I think just being very clear-eyed about that and very intentional about where your passion lies and where you want to serve and how that might fit with what your company has to offer and how philanthropic your company may be.
Well, Trina, we are so thankful to have you join us today. And thank you to you and the team at Key for all of the support of CLC and the greater Cleveland community. We are very thankful to have you here for 200 years. It's pretty amazing.
Thank you so much, Rachel. It has been wonderful to be here. I really appreciate the opportunity.